Welcome to episode 158 of Bardic Quest. Our heroes are stranded in the depths of the Shadowfell and in the midst of a battle with some undead abominations. Thorik, now free of his would-be fleshy tomb, is eager to enact holy vengeance. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. Right, top of the round then. It is the Zombie Clots go. Okay. It's got two massive meaty fists that it's going to slam down. It is going to be at disadvantage, I believe, on the first attack, which is going to go for Thorik with. Oh, that disadvantage is lucky. The other one was a natural 20. But the actual full-blown attack is going to be a 21, so it's still a very good hit.
Still hits.
Yeah. All right, as you're going to take Thorik, 16 points of bludgeoning damage.
Cool.
From that first slam. The next one coming down.
The next one, who's it attacking? Sorry.
So the next one is going to be against Saga.
Okay, if Saga's within 5 feet, I would like to use my Shield Master to impose disadvantage.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so disadvantage on this one as well. Which makes that a natural 1.
Yes.
Well, do you want to describe how you?
Yeah. So the what was the other result?
The other result was would have been a 21.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So as it's, I'm running back towards them, and as this thing comes in, I just sort of slide in front of it with my shield and just get in the way and take the brunt into my shield as I tuck behind it. Nice.
Okay, and that is going to be its go. So, Marvellous, you are up next, but I am going to need, because of that horrible, deathly stench...
Stinky boy!
Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay, that is going to be a 5.
Okay. So this time, after having endured this deathly stench for so long, it kind of starts to get the better of you here, as you are going to take 18 points of poison damage, and you are going to be poisoned until the start of your next turn.
Oh, lovely. So I'm, as I slide in, I look all really cool sliding in as I take the damage from the shield, through the shield, and go, and I look at I look at Saga and I'm like, all over the floor, as about to strike some witticism and just, oh god. Apologies for any audio listeners there.
Immersive.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do now?
Okay, so
after wiping the vomit from your chin.
I'm poisoned, so I believe that's disadvantage to my attack rolls.
Yes, it is.
Yes, yeah, lovely.
Disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Oh, fun. Well, we're just gonna strike out at him anyway. So with disadvantage, well, that was going to be a hit, but this one might not be. Hang on, I have to work out on this dice whether it's that's a 9. So that's a 17 still.
17 still going to hit, yeah. Big, bulky, and slow.
Slow.
Unarmored, it is just pure flesh, so not heavily armored at all.
Lovely. We're just doing a regular attack, which is a 10 altogether. Radiant damage. Say smash back.
10 points of radiant damage. Do you want to describe how you're going to get this thing into critical condition?
Oh, I've just realised I've been an absolute fool. I have not been adding the extra d6 that it does to undead, if I believe this is undead.
Okay, all right.
So add an extra 2.
An extra 2, okay. Still, would you like to describe how you're getting it into critical condition?
Yes, I shall be doing so. As I go, as I turn, taking the shield, and I just swing underneath my shield and smack it where its groin is not.
Nice.
It's collective groin.
Collective. Like all of the groins.
Yeah. Whichever zombie is resembling its groin.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do, Marvelous?
Well, that was my first hit, was it not?
You're right, it was.
So I'm still at disadvantage.
Yes.
So my second hit. I'm not going to bother with the second one because that is going to be. That's only going to be a 12. Is the lower?
A 12 will hit,
and that is the lower of them. Big, dumb, big. What is it? Big and slow.
Big and slow. Big, meaty and slow.
Big, meaty and slow. Lovely. Well, let's hit it in the meat again.
Straight
DMS.
So that will be a 6, a 2 plus 5, which is 13, I believe.
13 points of damage. Not enough to finish it, but it is struggling to keep all of its bits together.
Yeah. So I've just literally hit it once and hit it twice, right up the centre. Just windmilling the groin. Just.
Anything else, Marvelous?
No, that will be me.
Okay, so Thorik, how are you feeling, Thorik?
Oh, just Thorik's got a strong stomach is the one thing. So the kind of nauseous smells are kind of like the least of his worries. He is ashen, streaked in like old gore. He's very unkempt, like everything's kind of been pulled about, and he looks saying he would look bedraggled is an understatement. But with his companions by his side once more, he's starting to just get a tiny little glimmer, and the fear and like shaking he just channels into adrenaline and just anger. How far away am I from the big old blob?
The big old blob you are 10 feet away from.
I think it's just nothing. There's no sound other than Saga probably just hears him go, and he just starts to pick up a little bit of a spring in his step as he goes to
do that.
Yes, I thought so.
But you will have advantage because you have a dwarven stomach.
Dwarven stomach. Lovely. Con save, is it? Sorry.
Yes, please.
16.
16. You are fine.
Cool.
Dwarven stomach kicks in. You're good.
you've adventured with our bard for a long time.
Sergei for a very long time.
Yeah.
Little bit of a spring thematically from the Boots of Striding and Springing. There's just like a little bit of a, in whatever sort of magically, however they spring, there's just kind of like a bit of gore that just kind of squirts out of them as he springs. As he takes a swing towards just its core mass. He doesn't know what he's hitting, but he just hits it.
Nice.
Is this a straight attack? It's not disadvantage anymore.
It is a straight attack. Yeah, you're good.
We go, dice go. 14.
14 will certainly hit as you strike true with the Dragon Slayer. Roll for damage.
Oh, cool.
Are there any bits of dragon within this mass?
No bits of dragon, unfortunately.
Oh, shame.
No dragonborn. Just no, fair enough.
No, sorry.
Lovely. Okay, cool. That is 8 points of magical bludgeoning
8
damage.
points. 8 points. How are you finishing it?
Oh! He just leaps up, and as he's going, the Dragon Slayer just kind of flashes ever so briefly, even though it's not a dragon. He's just kind of pouring all of his kind of energy into it, and there's just a brief flash as just blunt instrument hits just core of flesh, and he knocks it to the ground, and it just kind of caves it in, and the bodies kind of undulate and just sort of screech and start to wither in on themselves. And Thorik just doesn't stop. He drops his shield and two-handed, he's just like, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" and just starts to keep bludgeoning this thing into the fucking ground.
You're being splattered with all of their giblets.
Yes, just as some measure of kind of getting back to equilibrium. He's not okay, and he's just keep being splattered by this horror. He just turns around, it's a horror show across his face. But he eventually stops just breathing heavily. And that's it.
All right. So it's now the ghouls' go.
Guys, I'm scared.
Yep.
Now you have been quite smart, Sergei, in that you've kept your distance.
Yep.
But they haven't been getting very far with Saga and Marvelous. And you're just like, you are showing off all your halfling flesh. Well, not quite all. Almost all.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
90% of your halfling flesh. So they're going to abandon the Saga and Marvelous tactic. And they are going to beeline for you. But they are going to have to dash to get there.
Okay.
Okay? But it also
Sergei
means
lets off, like,
if any help is
the
coming,
highest-
they too are going to have to dash to get to you.
Yeah, Sergei's going to let off like the highest pitched squeal ever.
Yeah, as these two rather gangly, like with almost like stretched and bruised skin just kind of bounding towards you, licking their lips at the idea of tearing the flesh from your bones as they now are engaged, both of them engaging you here. Sergei, what would you like to do?
What would I like to do? Okay. Let me just double check something. Ever so sorry.
Is that provoke opportunities I give?
Question.
Yes.
If I became invisible,
Yes.
does that just give them disadvantage on attacks against me if I was to move away?
So it gives them... invisibility is a little bit tricky in terms of theatre of the mind, because essentially, if they are on target, they're attacking with disadvantage.
Yeah.
If they're not on target, they're attacking anyway, but it's an automatic miss.
Yeah.
But it would still be with disadvantage. So they have to... If they have an idea as to where you are and they can potentially hit you, then it's an attack with disadvantage with a potential of a hit.
Cool.
If they don't know where you are and they're attacking the wrong place, it's an auto miss, basically.
It's like an opportunity attack would be at disadvantage, but then after he's got away, they'd just be like, "Bleh."
Yeah, unless they can work out where you are
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Is he
Very
still
well.
screaming?
Yeah.
Just a little wailing voice running around. As they run for me and as they get to me then,
Yep.
I would like to cast... Shut up first, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to go like this to just tell myself as well. And while I do this, I'm going to cast invisibility that enwraps around me from my mouth.
Nice. Okay.
And then as they get to me, I'm going to dive and try and get under one of their legs and then crawl through to the other side and make a run for...
Okay. So I will take the attacks of opportunity.
Yep.
But they will each be at disadvantage here.
Cool.
Okay? Because you're invisible.
I mean, they've got to be really bad rolls.
So, don't forget though, you are unarmored.
Yeah, that's my problem.
So, they're going to try and claw at you. Ooh, the disadvantage helping you there. That's a 7.
That one's going to
First
miss.
claw attack. The other one also trying to claw at you. Oh, natural 1.
Oh!
As you
Go on.
get the hell out of dodge. Are you running back towards your companions then here?
Yeah, I'll run back towards my companions.
You've just got to hope they haven't got a strong sense of smell.
Oh no.
Indeed. Alright, cool. So, anything else you'd like to do, Sergei?
That's it.
All right. Okay. Saga now. Two ghouls have just ran up the hill to engage with Sergei, who's now just vanished from view. You've got no idea where Sergei is, but the ghouls are a dash away from you. What would you like to do?
I'm guessing Saga would be able to tell he's turned invisible because
yes.
I know he can do that.
But you won't know where he is.
Yeah, I don't know where he is. I'm going to move 30 feet
Okay.
and then take my crossbow out
Okay.
and aim at one of them.
Okay. Go for it. Both of them are unharmed at the moment, so it doesn't particularly matter which one you're going for.
Dirty 20.
Nice. All right, you loose a crossbow bolt at this ghoul here. Unbeknownst to you, stood right next to Sergei.
Hope he didn't move, Saga. 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Nice. Not enough to bloody it, but enough to certainly injure it as your crossbow bolt strikes it in the shoulder. A little bit of old blood squirting out everywhere. Anything else?
Don't get extra take when they close to you. That's it.
All right. So next round, Marvelous. The ghouls are also a dash away from you right now.
Yeah, seeing Saga charge forward, I turn to Thorik to say, "Are you all right, old chap?" As seeing him for the first time, looking like a freshly born Urukai, I just go, "Are you all right, old chap?"
We'll talk later.
Yes, and I run forward to go shoulder to shoulder with Saga, not knowing that I'm risking just running into Saga. Perhaps
You see the crossbow.
you just see my tabard between my legs sort of flap backwards as it goes over him like a curtain. As I stand next to her with my shield and point Lightbringer at the ghouls and bash my shield.
Okay, sure. So you've only used a move action.
Yeah.
To get there. One of the ghouls is injured with the crossbow bolt. The other one untouched.
Yeah,
so far.
I'm not blessed particularly with range. How is, not to be meta, how is Saga looking?
She is a hair before bloodied.
Oh, right, okay, they're more specific than I was. But yes, she looks like she's taken a few hits.
Yeah, I'm taking a few hits.
I hit the B against my shield, and I just give her a sort of little nudge, and I'm going to use lay on hands to give her five hit points.
Yay!
What does it look like as you lay on hands?
Yes, I just tap her, and you just see on her arm a few wounds, slashes on her arm, just slowly sort of knit up to like they scab over. Do you know what I mean? They just sort of like as her healing accelerates for a brief moment.
Nice.
All
right.
Scabless.
Thorik. Same situation, essentially. The ghouls are a dash away from you.
Okay.
One of them is injured with a crossbow bolt, the other untouched.
So they're 60 feet away from me.
It's more closer to 50, to be honest.
Okay,
to be
cool.
more precise, because Sergei didn't run all the way back. But yeah, essentially a dash.
Cool. I'm just checking something. Sorry, forgive me. I'm just checking a range. So I'm going to have to... That's not helpful, D&D Beyond. It says it's telling me to consult the Book of Hands.
Oh, how very helpful.
But it does. Give me a page number, so that's fine. But that's something we all can do. I'm just sorry, checking the range. Undead. If they're 50 feet away, I can move 30. So I'm going to move 30 feet towards them, meaning they're 25 feet away from me.
Okay, so you're kind of in the same position as the rest of your party then, in that case.
Yeah.
Thereabouts.
And as I step alongside them, Thorik's eyes start to glow silver. The Dragon Slayer glows, and all of the, even though they're murky underneath the streaks of gore, the kind of rings of silver, kind of tattoo like body paint he's put on himself, glow as I turn undead. And I just kind of channel all of my holy energy from my ancestors, and kind of almost with several voices, you kind of almost hear these matriarchal voices underneath his own just say, return to your master. And they have to perform a wisdom save, I believe.
Okay. Oh, well, that's a mixed bag. The first one is a 1. The second one is a 20.
Okay. The 20 will succeed, but the 1 does not.
Okay.
So a turned creature has to spend its turn trying to move as far away from me as it can. Can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet. Can't take reactions for itself. It can only use an action to dash or try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving. Yeah.
And that will be the uninjured one, by the way, that is turned.
Great.
Okay. Anything else you would like to do, Thorik?
No, he's just there kind of like, he's just there conserving it. Like he kind of, maybe Thorik didn't see Sergei disappear actually, but he knows Sergei's about somewhere. Just kind of concentrates on the one that has failed, and his eyes just kind of burn into it as he kind of forces it to flee from combat.
And you see for the first time a look of horror on the face of this ghoul. And it is now the ghoul's go. So, of course, the turned ghoul is going to dash up the hill, moving a full 60 feet. So very much, very long distance away from you all. The other one here, being an undead, determined for flesh, is going to charge towards, I think probably Saga. You probably look the least armoured to it, I would have thought. So it's going to charge.
I have a breastplate.
You have a breastplate. Marvelous. You're pretty heavily armoured, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty heavily armoured.
And Thorik, you're in chain, aren't you, Thorik?
I'm in.
It's hard to tell under all of that.
I'm in half plate now.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So I think Saga still technically would be, even with the breastplate, still probably.
I'd like to use my shield to impose disadvantage, please.
Oh, very well done, sir. Very well done. All right. So it's going to try and claw at you. Oh, I don't think the disadvantage is going to help you here, though, because even with the disadvantage, that's going to be a 22 to hit.
I tried.
So.
You're on your own.
I went low. Ugh.
All right.
One of the two down.
Didn't want to cover your face. You were like,
So that's going to be 8 slashing damage, and I am going to need another Constitution saving throw from you, please.
why? Come on. 16.
A 16 will save. So you feel a slight numbing sensation for a brief moment, but it quickly passes. But of course, that gash now on your forearm as it's clawed at you here. And that is going to be the ghoul's turn, as it is now engaged with, all of you, pretty much. So, Sergei, as the invisible party member, what would you like to do?
I'd like to maybe kick up my feet, relax a little bit, get a
Let's chillax.
cocktail out. No, I'll draw my rapier and I'm going to come right up to the ghoul and then just thrust it in. Obviously losing my invisibility.
But you do get your advantage from the attack.
Yes.
Attacking from an invisible state.
Oh, wow, they're both the exact same number. A 17.
A 17 will certainly hit as you lunge forward with Stephen.
Let's go, Stephen! 2 hit points of damage.
2 hit points of damage. How are you bloodying it?
Oh, wow. I think I'm just kind of nicking its ankles, just a quick.
And there is a roar of pain and kind of so much so that bloody spittle kind of goes everywhere as it roars out as you catch it.
As my invisibility drops and I'm just there in my tighty whities, Lucy brownies.
Anything else, Sergei?
That's it. I'm going to save the rest of the stuff my resources, I think.
All right. So, Saga, you are now engaged with a bloodied ghoul that has just tried to claw, has successfully clawed at you.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
She growls and retaliates with her greatsword.
As so she should.
There we go. 11.
11 to hit will be a miss, I'm afraid.
Extra attack.
Go for it.
Okay. Much better. Dirty 20.
Nice. So as the ghoul is kind of roaring out in pain, you try and swing at it, and it just manages to duck out the way. But you bring your blade round to strike true on the other side. So roll damage for me.
9 points damage.
9 points of damage. How are you getting it into critical condition?
Oh, I want something can I just slice the head and take a piece of the head off?
Top of the
Oh
scalp.
yeah,
So just reveal
intensely close shave.
bare bone.
Yeah.
Oh. Ouch. Anything else, Saga?
That was my 2. Do I?
Slicing into an avocado and seeing the pip.
How many of these? We have 3 ghouls.
So one's been destroyed. One has been turned and is about probably from where you are in the region of about 80 feet from your current position.
Okay.
Running up the hill, still going. And then there's the one that you've just attacked, yeah.
Okay, I won't. I shall end my turn there for now.
Okay. Which brings us then to the top of the round. So, Marvellous, you are also engaged with this scalped ghoul.
Lovely. Well, seeing its exposed skull and squidgy bits, I am going to swing at it with over the top with Lightbringer.
Okay.
It's going to be a 15 to hit.
A 15 will certainly do so as you strike with Lightbringer.
So that's going to be 2d6 plus 5. So that's going to be 15 radiant damage.
How are you finishing it, sir?
Well, this little bit of exposed brain that's popping out. Lightbringer just comes down on top of it, and its head just explodes like a disco ball with light.
Great.
More viscera, just. Don't get it in your mouth.
And the other ghoul is continuing to run here. It is
Kate
about,
pushing it up that hill.
It's about 80 feet away from your current position. Now, I can keep you in initiative if you want to, or if you want to let it go, I'm happy to drop initiative.
I just look at the others, and go, what do we want to do? And I'm just going to end my turn there.
All right, Thorik. There is a turned ghoul away from you, running away from you, about 80 feet away.
80 feet away. He'll kind of just say, do we let it go?
Unless it comes back with reinforcements. But I'm in a lot of pain.
It might point us in the right direction.
Good thinking.
Thorik will kind of keep his eyes burning, but just sort of rest his hammer down with a weight and kind of in the wet, sort of sunken earth and viscera. He'll just kind of stab the edge of his shield into the ground and just lean on his hammer, heavy breathing, just catching his breath and trying to steady his heart rate.
Okay. At this point, as you kind of do that, the ghoul continues to dash, putting it now at about 140 feet away from you. Sergei.
Sergei's going to stand with his hands on his hips, covered in blood and viscera, looking mighty proud. And he's just going to watch the ghoul go, and we'll maybe do one of those like slap of the thighs and kind of thrust moves in its direction.
All right.
In a kind of was up kind of 2000s suck it. Kind of.
Yeah, exactly one of them.
Saga.
Excellent.
I'll put some clothes on, Sergei.
We'll slowly lift my pants and go collect
And
them.
yeah, she wipes, then she's a great sword.
All right.
Wincing.
And you each gain 725 points of experience.
Ooh.
725.
In the immediate aftermath here, as you watch that ghoul just run over the hill, essentially, what would you like to do?
Put my clothes back on.
Sergei,
Yeah.
where is your armor?
Oh, it's over there. I threw it down as I ran down the hill.
Put it on.
Sorry.
We've been through this many times.
Come back.
Right.
Mismatched armor.
I said, I think we might need to take a short rest and certainly wash. Particularly you, Squire. That is quite the olfactory cocktail you've got going on there.
Okay. So you want to take a bit of a short rest?
Yes.
But yeah, we should.
Maybe not here. Maybe we go a bit further so we're out of the.
That's fine.
Should we get to the top of that hill and see if we can see the direction that that foul creature's going?
Yeah, good idea.
Well, just to remind you of where you are, because I know it's been a while. So, as you left the Dragon's Cave, you had noticed the large gnarled tree in the swampland
yes.
to the south. The ghoul is heading up the hill, back the way you came from, so towards the Dragon's Cave.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Let's press on then.
We're heading to the gnarled tree, aren't we? So we can
Yes.
press on in that general direction.
So, did you want to press
hopefully
on,
this
or
is
did
not
you want
warning
to
anyone.
camp out and rest?
Willie, at least for a moment, we need a rest.
I think we should
Ideally.
at least slightly change location before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Press on
I'd like
for like
to-
5-10 minutes maybe, and then
Okay.
I can stand a short walk just so we don't have the sight or smell of
Yes,
this.
I don't particularly want to camp here. It's like being at a festival.
All right. So you continue down the hill, past a lot of gnarled trees, much smaller than the one you're headed to, of course. Some of them actually looking as though they are actually kind of like starting to rot. You can see the large tracks of the Zombie Clot as you're kind of making your way downhill, the now dead Zombie Clot. As you're making your way downhill, and you find a sort of outcropping of rock kind of surrounded by these trees, as almost like they're reaching over this outcropping, which you think might potentially make a good resting spot.
This looks as good as we're gonna get in a while.
It's positively 5-star compared to the rest of this place.
As we're setting up camp, Thorik kind of goes over to Saga in particular and sort of grasps her shoulder and just says, he's speaking in Dwarvish, and she probably knows, I would wager she knows all of it, but there's a word that comes up in his sentence that he says, I don't think I would have done very well without your help back there. Truly, thank you, Seaman.
She'll answer in her sort of accented Dwarvish. You go, of course, you would have done the same for me. I need you.
And you.
I can't stand to lose anyone else right now.
We won't. And sort of catching the kind of colloquialism, he sort of says, Seaman is, he sort of explains that Seaman is Dwarvish. It's a term for either a trusted friend, shield brother or sister, or battle companion.
Seaman. And she like pats her shoulder and then winces because she's like pulled on a cup.
Let me get that. And he sort of starts to tend to wounds and stuff as we all sort of making sure there is no infection from this absolute infection nightmare that we're all drenched in.
Why don't you give me a medicine check here?
Medicine is a dirty 20.
Okay.
Or a clean 20, if you will.
Indeed. You are confident that there is, provided that everybody cleans up as quickly as possible, that there's no sign, at least, of infection at the moment here.
Would you like me to sing a song while we rest?
I could do a song.
Any brightness you can bring to this dark place.
Brightness I can do. I learned this song from some traders a very long time ago. It's an ancient tongue passed down into words and lyrics. And I'll get my lute out. And I'll start plucking. And I'll go, whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, whoa, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Whoa, whoa, living on a prayer. And I'll sing a bit of that as the Song of Rest, which means everyone gets a D6 extra. I really hope YouTube does not copyright flag that, but I do not think it was sang anything like the original.
Oh, takes me back to Neverwinter. I remember that well. The bard, John Bovey, coming to the court and singing that classic.
Ah, yes, the Brother Bards.
Yes, wonderful piece.
So indeed, you do all get the benefits of the Song of Rest here once your short rest is completed. Was there anything anybody wanted to do as part of this short rest here?
Other than take myself to maximum health.
Using her dice, that's what we're doing.
Yes. Literally just looking for a scrap of and failing to find any leaves in the area. Once my handkerchief is completely wrung out, and just I'm now just sort of moving it around, just I give up after a while. I'm like.
So, an hour passes uneventfully, as you can all take the benefits of a short rest. So any abilities that regenerate, you have back, and you're welcome to spend as many hit dice as you like to give yourself a boost in hit points. And don't forget, of course, to add that D6, courtesy of the Song of Rest by Sergei and John Bovey.
Thank you, John Baby, inspiring us in these times. I would also like to go around and cast Mending and just see if I can fix up anyone's wears and tears. So I won't be able to get any of the
thank you. Fix my
things.
things.
Me, please.
Just handed over my tabard while I'm polishing up the rest.
Yes, please.
O for prestidigitation on top of it.
Which I alas do not have.
All right. So, as you finish your short rest here with the assist and the mending from Sergei, what would you like to do next?
So, do we think that thing, that shell Thorik got put in, do you think that was the witch? The witch is doing?
I would, I don't know. It might be a creature that prevails here, or whether she created it, whether she created any of this, or just lives here, is guesswork at best.
Ooh, there's one thing I'd want to do in this hour.
Okay.
If you permit me, is to go through Johann's diary and see if there's any information on Caro. Anything that might help us.
Okay. Let me see here, because I should have something. Is there anything in particular you wanted to know about?
I mean, I mean, ideally, which is a pipe dream, but any vulnerabilities where like, if there's any rumors about like where her headquarters is, if there's traps, anything like that, any rumors about what the place is like, what the powers are.
Okay.
I mean,
Just Control F Caro.
yeah. like in Final Fantasy games when you go scan and it gives you the list of like communities.
We do love a bit.
Looking for the words Caro and Hag. Just anything. Just.
All right. Okay. So there is a fair bit about Caro in here, as you would expect. Caro is known, according to these notes, as Caro the Devourer. She's the leader of the Coven of Witches known as the Carrion, which I think I'd already said to you at this point, because you asked about how many sisters there were. In terms of the weakness, basically, what had happened was that a young man, a miner by trade, had managed to escape from a lot of fighting between some commoners and the Coven of Witches. He'd managed to escape some of that fighting and managed to flee from the Carrion's lair. That was not in the Shadowfell. This was a lair that was on the material plane. He managed to flee from there, clawed his way out of the hovel, and ran like hell towards the dawn light at the end of the trees. It was just at sunrise here. And he ran for as hard as he could, but then realised that morning light, that dawn light, wasn't actually the sun at all, but actually a wildfire that was coming towards him. So he was caught in the middle between the fire and the witches. And he basically decided that he was going to... the only thing he could do, really, was hide in a ditch and just pray that whichever thing caught up with him first, be it the fire or the witches, would be the more merciful death. But to his surprise, he actually woke up to the morning light. And he realised that he had not been burnt or eaten and was happily alive. And as he looked about, he could see the remains of all of the trees and indeed the bones and bodies of the witches. And this was a unexpected sight, the corpses of the witches, because historically the witches had been known to actually consume the bodies, the corpses of their sisters, as a way of being able to retain that power and to actually create more of them. So that was kind of like how they bred, if you will, by consuming corpses of fellow witches to create more. But what Robert Hale realised was, and this is all in the notes, was that the witches obviously didn't value burnt flesh. Because burnt flesh, he surmised, was considered dead flesh, because all of the fuel within it had been used up. And so it didn't retain its magical properties. And so, on that basis, he deduced that the best weapon, the first and best weapon, to use against the Coven would be fire. Because fire would diminish the wider power amongst the Coven. And this story, this legend, was passed down to the Brethren Vigilant and was known as the first revelation of the Brethren.
Okay. She would have read out that passage.
Does anyone have a matchstick?
I have my tinderbox, and I can conjure flame to an extent on my strikes.
It seems that
I've
the most
got tinderbox as well and some alchemist fire.
most effective way to deal with these hags will be
A hag.
fire.
I can conjure radiance. I don't have anything that can conjure fire, and unfortunately I can't read this scroll of fireball unless they would kindly read it for us, and you know.
Someone did once tell me that my sweet licks on my lute were fire, but I don't think they meant it in the way we need.
Yes.
Were they a member of Clan X?
Maybe, yes.
I thought so. I don't understand all this modern lingo.
I think it was positive. If only we had, if only we could burn down that tree itself.
I mean, not a terrible plan.
Yeah.
Might take something a bit more than what we have at our disposal, though.
An alchemist's fire certainly might give us an edge in combat, even if it only startles them.
Aye.
Gives them something else to think about.
If there's something precious to them, or I would imagine they're not in there having a tea party. Whatever it is that they are doing, maybe burning it, or at least setting a fire in amongst their nefarious magical ne'er-do-wellings might be good.
We shall see. Perhaps this particular book might prove to be useful. Want to turn up for the books?
Yeah, I used to make fun of him for making notes after each battle. He might just save our lives.
He's still with us.
I like to think so.
Well, have you been practicing with the war pick at all?
I mean, and now how to wield something sharp.
That you do.
Like the thing Saga just sort of
Yeah.
the way she sort of flings out just yeah, you're proficient with everything, aren't you? I forget. My lowly dwarven ability is simple and dwarvish things. That's what
I kind of had to. I had
I
time.
am not. I checked the rules. Thorik is annoyingly not proficient with a war pick, and it feels really wrong as a dwarf.
It's just a regular pick. No, not a war pick.
Really
The
vexing.
balance is completely different.
Yeah.
So, what's the plan?
Head towards the big spooky tree.
Yeah.
Look towards the big spooky tree.
Hey there, Questers. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say a huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Your support really helps to keep this channel going strong. So I wanted to give a special shout out to each and every one of you, our incredible patrons and YouTube members, who are Woodstrapper, Simon Jelly, Martin C, Gallus, Gary Lloyd, James Hamilton, JR Belliston, Robert Treadwell, Jason Udall, Jason Bradwell, Nigel Raggett, Rebecca Hill, Giles McGee, and Caesars. Honestly, your support truly makes a huge difference, and we appreciate you more than we can express. And to those of you who haven't yet joined, I would invite you to consider becoming a patron or YouTube member. Not only will you unlock fantastic benefits, including early access to videos, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, and access to our Discord channel, but you'll also be directly contributing to the growth and success of this channel. But to everybody, thank you again for all of your support and helping us to tell these incredible adventures together.